Alright, so I finally got a chance to sit down and watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay, so I finally got a chance to sit down and watch Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I watched this with my son earlier today. And I've already seen it once, but I'm rewatching it for a review. And I know, over a year ago, I started a Batman vs. TMNT review series that I never really finished. I did some other TMNT reviews, I did some other Batman reviews, but never did this. Well, here you go. 1 year later, Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So first and foremost, the story. The story is that the Shredder and the Foot Clan are working with Ra's al Ghul and the League of Shadows to, what else? Take over the world. No, they have a deal. Shredder will give ooze to Ra's al Ghul if Ra's gives him the power of the pits, the Lazarus pits. But also, Shredder has a deal with the Joker. He's going to mix the Joker's venom with the ooze. Maybe that's Raz's plan, whatever. And yeah, Raz has a plan with the Joker to mix the Joker's venom with the ooze and make uncontrollable mutants. Yeah, the Turtles are in New York, and they come across the Batman, and then you got Batman, you got Batgirl played by Barbara Gordon, Batman who is Barbara Gordon, who in her appearance, her one and only appearance outside of the costume, looks kind of like April O'Neil from the 2003 series. I was confused that rewatching this. I was like, "Wait, is that April or is that Barbara?" It was Barbara, Batgirl, Batman, and then there's Robin. Robin is the Damian Wayne version because that's the version they have in the DC animated universe right now. It's kind of weird, but yeah. Yes, there's no Master Splinter, no Casey Jones, no April, no Nightwing. There's just regular. Those what you see, what you get. The animation is okay. I'm not a big fan of Warner Brothers animation nowadays. Well, some is okay, but like with this and Scooby-Doo Return to Zombie Island animation is just kind of meh. I'm not a big fan of the way the turtles are designed. Let me get the slipcover I can show you. This makes them look a little bit better than they do. The back there, that's what they look like. Mostly Donatello. The rest of them have wide faces. And Donatello's is just like a green cotton swab. Kind of weird. One thing I do like is when the Joker releases ooze throughout Arkham Asylum and turns well-known Batman villains into creatures. You have Mr. Freeze, who at first said didn't want any part of it, yet he's doing this anyway, turned into a polar bear. Scarecrow is turned into a giant crow. Poison Ivy is turned into actual Poison Ivy, although she's rooted to the floor, which is funny. Bane is turned into I think a leopard or a tiger. It doesn't look like stripes, it looks like spots. So maybe a leopard of some sort. Or a wild cat of some sort. In the original comics, Penguin was turned into a penguin, but he plays a different role in this. He's not in Arkham. He's out and about. Harley Quinn is turned into a hyena. And Joker is turned into a cobra because Venom. Cobra. Yeah. And that's pretty cool, seeing them as monsters, and then they have little fight scenes with the creatures. Yeah, and they're not all easy to take down. Mr. Freeze and Bane, I think, are the hardest ones to take down. There's also a scene where Joker injects Batman, not just with... He ejects him with the ooze Joker Venom mix. And it turns him into a literal Batman. Not Man-Bat, because that's a different character, but a literal Batman. Is uncontrollable. Even Damien tries to... He's like, Father! But nothing. And then eventually they have to use it. Okay, here's where my problem comes in. So earlier, Donnie makes this retro mutagen, or anti-ooze, to counteract the effects of the ooze. I understand they have only a short amount of time to put into a film. This film is 87 minutes long, so they only had a certain amount of time to do it. But they used the retro mutagen was made out of taking the ooze and making a cure of it, so they can use it later. And yet, they use it on Batman when he is not only infected with ooze, but the Joker Venom mixed together, which means that retro mutagen they have would not work on Batman. They'd have to get a sample of the Venom mixed with the ooze, then counteract another retro mutagen. But for the sake of time, it just works. And that one kind of got me going, I don't think that would really work. It wouldn't work on them because they only made it. They made it a cure from the ooze by itself, which doesn't. I don't know, but time saver, I guess. If it was a longer movie, they would have had something in there, I'm sure, but it just doesn't make any sense to me how it worked when it was only made from regular ooze and not the mix. I do like the repertoire between Michelangelo and Alfred in this. They kind of go back and forth. Robin, they got a connection. Batman trains with Leonardo. Raphael has a connection to Robin. Batgirl and Donatello, they're smart. They're the ones that come up with the retro mutagen. And Michelangelo is stuck with Alfred. And they couldn't be more opposite than the others. The other ones are very similar. You got Leonardo and Batman, who are very, strong. They're sort of the leaders of their teams. They're very strong-willed. They're very serious. You got Robin and Raphael, who kind of tough guys. They're kind of, they both wear red, which is probably where they got most of the thing. And Batgirl and Donatello, they're the smart ones. But then you got Michelangelo, who's a party dude, and you have Alfred, who is the stern, butler type guy. But there are a few good things that come out of this team up. Batman says cowabunga, and he fights Shredder. Twice. And we get the creation of a Joker Shredder, because he falls into the Ace chemicals, and in a post-credit stinger, he comes out looking like the Joker, which is cool. If they ever do a sequel, which I hope they do, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I'd like to see that. And the one thing is, I would have liked to have seen Penguin transformed into an actual penguin. He just he shows up at the beginning of this, and he shows up at the end to help get the last little thing for their experiment. That's it. That's all. One thing that surprised my son is the blood, because the punching sometimes punch him in the face and blood will come out. There's a scene where Joker kills one of his Foot Clan members, which is cool. My son's like, "Whoa, blood?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is a PG." He's like, "This is a cartoon." I'm like, "It's a PG-13 cartoon." He's like, "Oh." That was fun. Overall, the only really big problem, and it's a nitpick, is that whole thing with the retro mutagen. Otherwise, I don't have really too many problems with this. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's very enjoyable. It's got two of the things I grew up with. Two of my favorite things growing up, Batman and Teen Ninja Turtles. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. So I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this. What are your thoughts on Batman vs. TMNT? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one.